You are welcome to our channel. Don't forget to like, to share, and also to subscribe. Breaking news: Bola Tinubu reacts as Nyesom Wike seal PDP National Secretariat building and others in FCT. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has intervened in the controversial revocation and sealing of properties, including the People's Democratic Party (PDP) National Secretariat, over unpaid ground rent of the Federal Capital Territory (FCT). Following the President's directive, affected property owners have been granted 14 days grace period to settle their outstanding liabilities and regularize necessary documentations. According to Vanguard, development was announced during a press briefing in Abuja by Mr. Chijioke Nwaokoeze, Director of Land and Administration in the FCT. He revealed that enforcement began on May 26, 2025, targeting 4,797 properties whose owners defaulted on ground rent payments for periods ranging between 10 and 43 years. Nwaokoeze stated that the crackdown was part of the FCT administration's commitment to executing statutory responsibility without bias. Properties belong to individuals, corporate bodies, and government institutions were affected. However, following President Tinubu's intervention, defaulters now have a 2-week window to clear their debts. Penalty vary by district. Defaulters in the central area face a 5 million naira fine in addition to arrears, while those in Maitama, Asokoro, Wuse 2, and Guzapi must pay 3 million naira. Wuse 1 and Garki 1 and Garki 2 defaulters will pay 2 million naira. In addition, buyers of properties who have failed to secure the mandatory minister's consent or register deeds of assignment must do so within the grace period. FCT Minister Barrister Nyesom Wike CON has also granted a 14-day extension of payment of right of occupancy RFO and certificate of occupancy CFO charges, warning that non-compliance may lead to title revocation. Wike and Tinubu both emphasized the importance of compliance to enable continued development across the FCT. Well, if we look at what is going on in the FCT recently, especially in the tenure of Nyesom Wike as the minister and also President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the one in charge of affairs in Nigeria as a whole, we can see there are significant visible development and changes in the FCT. And of course, for all these things to be seen, to come to fruition, real money, real cash is needed. And I think one of the way in which Wike is trying to, get enough resources so as to do most of the projects he has earmarked and placed before him is through revenue collection. And one of such source is the collection of ground rent, even by the FCTA, the Federal Capital Territory Administration. But it's such a pity that since a very long time, many particular organizations refused and they kept defaulting in paying all their ground rents. And as a result of that, the FCT administration right now, with a new sheriff in town, they need money to even be able to perform so many government responsibilities and roles even in FCT. And they are encouraging all the owners of buildings to come out and pay. But because the enforcement now, after the ultimatum given to these people, after all the notices have elapsed and expired, the FCTA decided to go all out and begin to clamp down on all those buildings, put them under lock and key until they are ready to fulfill their obligation to the government. And if they fail, of course, the property will be forfeited to the government. That's the reality. But then it's not just coming like that because they had to pay. But since the situation has, erupted so badly that the Secretariat of People's Democratic Party happened to be among the 4,700 something plus buildings that are affected, it has, began to raise a political dust. And those in PDP are beginning to say that a Wike is trying to, settle political scores with PDP, and that is why he is trying to witch on the party to frustrate them from having a quorum, thereby making the neck to sit down and find a lasting solution to the critical situation of their party, which is technically in coma, as it were, and they want to rescue the party. But then we won't shy away from the singular fact that for smooth running of any administration, money is the key. If PDP is owing for that long, PDP should pay up, and let's forget the matter. And also, the situation escalated to a point that the president has to intervene, because with the intervention of the president, the Wadata Plaza is no more under lock and key, and they have been given 2 weeks, not only the PDP, but every other person that is owning a land in the Federal Capital Territory, and he or she knew that he has defaulted for over a very long time. He has been given 14 days grace to come and pay. That's number one. Number two, as the president has intervened, the payment we won't be paid without penalty. So the penalty varies from 5 million to 3 million to 2 million, depending on the area you are in Federal Capital Territory. And also, the one I want to dwell on is the one of right of occupancy and certificate of occupancy charges that is to be given to the coffers of the FCTA. And I don't know why people will buy land and they will not do the necessary paper. If tomorrow the government decide to revoke the land, how will they get compensated? Very, very important. Peradventure, they want to do a particular infrastructure in such a place where the property is situated, and the government had to come into contact with the owner of the property to arrive at a particular settlement. If there are no documents to back it up, how will they be able to recoup their money? So we need to be wise in this country and do necessary things at the right time. Let's make sure, because the English people say stitching time saves 9. Right of occupancy and certificate of occupancy. If you have bought any land and then you didn't do the necessary documentation on it, if the repercussion later meet you like a tsunami, please, no one should be blamed. But in this situation now, we are already saying thank you to the Mr. President, because it seems as if he has brought a human face into the matter and has already told the FCTA to extend the grace period for the people. So both Wike and Tinubu, they have emphasized the importance of compliance, and that is the key thing now to enable them to continue development across the FCT. I think compliance is also an issue, not only with the issue of collecting revenue by the government. Generally, even government on their own too, on our own, is not even complying with some things, and that is why we are having a lot of problem even in our system today. If we can just allow compliance, a lot of things will be well done. Remember to subscribe, make sure you share, and don't forget to give us your like. Thank you.